The Bahann is the collective name of a group of 8 divine beings who were once mortal, but achieved eternal life through their exemplary lives. These 8 immortals were popular with the people, who carried charms and amulets in the forms of their symbols. The 8 immortals are not exactly unique within the ancient Chinese celestial pantheon, and in fact, there are many such groups found in Chinese religious traditions. But this particular amalgamation of divine characters is by far the most beloved and well known of the bunch. Now, the 8 figures, as I mentioned, achieve immortality in various ways. Now, the first is Lai Huan, who was taught the secret of eternal life by the Queen Mother of the West, the goddess Wang Mu. Lai Huan, who was blessed with a great intellect, but cursed with a club foot. Well, he has an iron crutch presented to him by the goddess. An iron crutch becomes his nickname, as well as one of his attributes in sacred art. Now, his symbols also include the bat and a gourd. Now, like Huan, iron crutch, then teaches Zhang Li Quan, who is the second of the 8 immortals. He becomes the messenger of heaven and is often depicted with a fan of feathers. Now, next came Lu Dong Bing, the most famous of the 8 immortals, who, while visiting an inn, meets a man called Hang Zhang Lai, who starts to heat up a pot of wine. Well, Lu falls asleep and dreams that he has been promoted to high office and has enjoyed good fortune for, roughly 50 years. But this delightful delirium turns into a nightmare as his luck runs out. And Lo is disgraced, and his family is ruined. Now, when he wakes up, Lo shakes the dream out of his head and soon realizes that only a few moments have actually passed. He is still at the inn, and Hang Zhang Lai has not even finished heating up the wine yet. Now, the result of this dream and nightmare, well, is that Lo becomes convinced of the vanity of worldly ambition and decides to follow Hang Zhang Li. He follows him into the mountains to seek the essence of the Tao, which can only be found in nature. As well, he wants to also achieve immortality. Lo becomes the tutelary god of barbers and is often depicted in art carrying a sword, which is, of course, a holy weapon with which he conquers demons. Next up is Hang Zai, who, according to tradition, is the great-nephew of Han Yu, a Tang Dynasty writer and philosopher. Han becomes a disciple of Lu Dongping, who, when he almost reaches immortality, takes Han to heaven, to the sacred tree which provides the heavenly peaches of eternal life. Han starts to climb the tree, but slips and falls back down to earth, achieving immortality just as he is about to hit the ground. He is often depicted in art carrying a, bouquet of flowers. Our next immortal is said to have been the brother of Empress Chao from the Song dynasty. This is Chao Gu Zhu, who becomes disillusioned and disgusted with court intrigues and corruption. So he goes into the mountains to seek the way, the Tao. Now, CGJ, for short, then comes to a river, but he has no money. And he decides to try and impress the boatman, the ferryman, by showing him his golden tablet. This tablet is a type of golden ticket granting admission into the emperor's court. The boatman is not exactly impressed and tells CGJ that if he seeks enlightenment, why are you pulling rank and privilege on me? Well, CGJ is ashamed of himself and, throws the golden tablet or the golden ticket into the river. The boatman, who is actually Lu Dongbin in disguise, takes on Chao as his disciple. Now, in sacred art, Chao Guju is shown carrying his golden ticket or tablet into the emperor's court. Now, Zhang Gu, the sixth immortal, is said to have lived during the time of the Empress Wu from the Tang dynasty. Now, Zhang is renowned for his magical skill and for riding a donkey that can be folded up and stored inside a sack or bag. The mule can travel thousands of miles in just one day. And Zhang, an old man, famous for his skill as a necromancer, performs many miracles, like granting offspring to childless couples or healing the sick and dying. His image was often hung in the bridal chamber, in order to encourage fertility. And in art, Zhang is often represented holding the peaches of immortality and the bag or sack containing his folded-up donkey. Now, our next immortal, the seventh, Lang Kai-he, is an androgynous being who dresses as a woman but has a male voice. This gender-bending immortals family dealt. They dealt in medicinal herbs and plants. And one day, gentle Lan comes across a beggar that is dressed in filthy rags. His body is covered in festering sores. It is not easy for Lan to wash and dress the beggar's wounds, but he does not give up. Unknown to Lan, the beggar is actually Iron Crutch Li in disguise. Now, his or her, we're not really sure, kindness to this divine beggar is rewarded with eternal youth. Now immortal, the gentle Lan tours China as a minstrel, wandering about through the land, bringing joy to the people. He is clad in a blue gown. Lan also urges the seeking of the way, or the Tao. This androgynous being is eventually lifted up to heaven on a stork's wings, where Lan brings delight to heavenly gatherings, always carrying his flute and a basket of fruit, because he's always ready to party. Now, our eighth and final immortal, He Yan Gu, is without question female. There's no doubt that He Yan Gu is actually a woman. And she acquires her gift when a spirit tells her to grind up and eat some pearls found on the mountain where she lived. Now, the pearl is, a common multicultural symbol linked to both women and water, as well as the moon. Now, in China, the pearl is linked to immortality. Its spherical shape, and luminous luster is considered the symbol of perfection. The pearl grows inside a muscle. It grows inside a muscle in the darkness at the bottom of the sea. Like a child growing inside the womb. The pearl grows inside the mystic center of the protective shell. Its hardness and immutability symbolic of fertility and immortality. Now, in art, He Yan Gu is shown as a virginal maiden holding a peach and or lotus blossom. Now, the most famous myth involving the eight immortals, involving all of them at the same time, of course, is a sacred story about a voyage to the undersea world. Now, instead of traveling on clouds like they usually do, the eight immortals display their magical powers and throw objects into the sea and use them as rafts and boats. Now, during the journey, the son of the Eastern Sea, Dragon King, this is the son of the Eastern Sea Dragon King, steals